Welcome to Mind Your Business, the channel where we are in a everybody business. If you don't mind getting in people's business, you're on the right channel. Talking about current topics and gossip. Oh my days, the Love Island season is over. Yes, it has come to an end. The final was on Monday night and we found out what couple were crowned Love Island winner. And as we all know, that was Amber and Greg. And we all know that Amber had a tough time in there, so it was really nice to see her win. I was really super happy with the results. But as always, I always like to have a quick look at the highlights of the week leading up to the whole finale. So let's find out what happened. Anna and Jordan, boy, what a mix up with them, eh? So last week we saw Jordan and Anna's relationship switch gears, and not in the most positive way. Prior to that, we had seen Jordan walking around the villa with Anna, talking about all the special moments that they had had before he asked her to be his girlfriend. She was smitten and said yes to being his girlfriend. We saw him comfort her when she was upset about the public voting as she ended up in the bottom again and was saved by the fellow islanders. He was sweet and reassured her not to worry about what people think. But the happy coupledom soon came to a drama-filled end when Jordan decided he wanted to move to India, who was coupled up with Ovi. Seriously, dude? I mean, you taking Anna back is okay, but you can't move to his new girl. No bro code. No bro code. Anyway, Anna and her trusty instinct sense something wasn't right and tells her girls that she's concerned. And she also mentioned that she noticed that Jordan had been spending, not been spending time with her, but every time she looked over, he was talking to India. So Jordan ends up talking to Anna, basically saying he hasn't been talking to her, he's been ignoring her because she's been moping around and he wants to be happy. Now, the girl was moping around for a day, it wasn't forever. So I didn't understand that. It just seemed quite immature. And of course, Anna took offense to that. If you're going to be in a relationship with somebody, then you're there with them for their highs and their lows. So she kind of took offense and she snapped on him a bit, got a bit into an argument. And she ended up walking off when he told her that, she was embarrassing him. Now, what I wanted to know is, where did this mad U-turn come from? Could it be because, Jordan ended up in the bottom again and maybe he thought, I ain't going to win this if I keep ending up in the bottom? I don't know. It just seemed quite weird. And I did give him the side eye after, he moved to Jordan. Girls are in Casa Amor, but he didn't actually tell Anna about it. So I always had a bit of my eye on him for that. But anyway, so we see Jordan venting about the argument that he just had to Curtis and goes on to say that, he doesn't need the stress and how he's come in there, and it just seems like he just gets along with India and they have a better banter, and it's like, well, hello, she's with Ovi and she ain't looking at you, bro. But anyway, next in the Anna and Jordan saga, Jordan sits down with Curtis to say he enjoys, the conversations that he has with India, and he looks forward to speaking to her and bumping into her around the villa. Curtis gives the most ridiculous, redundant advice and tells him to explore his feelings and go and talk to her. He asks what's missing from the relationship with him and Anna, and says that it's better that he explores his feelings now rather than later. At no point did he say you should speak to your girlfriend first. I mean, hello, he had just asked Anna to be his girlfriend like 2 days before. That should have been the first thing that he done in terms of the advice. I could understand him actually saying, explore your feelings, but you don't do that without speaking to the person you're committed to first, okay? That's the problem. Now, the question is, are we really surprised at this advice? As I always say, always consider the source of your advice, people. We saw how he did Amy, so I wasn't necessarily that surprised. He moved to Jordan and was about to, take a leap of faith with a girl who hadn't even shown him any interest. And so, come on. Anyway, so the next big mix-up happens when Jordan decides he is going to go and grab India for a chat, and he lets Curtis know of this plan. So while Jordan goes to grab India, Curtis goes over to Maura to let him know what's going on, and she loses it because Anna is her friend, okay? It's one of her besties in the villa, and she cannot believe that Jordan would be such a dick and wouldn't speak to Anna first, you know, as the fact that, you know, that was his girlfriend and they had been like, you know, boyfriend and girlfriend for all of 2 days. So while this is going on, Molly-Mae and Tommy clock that Jordan has grabbed India. So walks over to Anna, goes over to Anna, who is sitting with some of the others, to go and tell her what's going on. Maura goes over to grab Anna after bickering with Curtis, as he didn't want her to run and tell Anna this information. Anyway, Maura tells Anna that Jordan is cracking on with India, and of course, Anna snaps big time.
I never said that I like her. I'm not hitting on her, I'm just trying to be
You tried to tell me today that you like another girl. 2 days! 2 days! What kind of guy asks a girl to be their girlfriend and 2 days later they crack on with fucking another girl?
I'm not cracking on, no. You don't have a conversation.
I had a fucking feeling as well.
Am I not allowed to have a conversation with someone?
You don't have a fucking girlfriend, you idiot!
Maybe if you weren't so negative, if I'm
You
putting
asked me
aside
to be
all
your
you do is
girlfriend.
negative
You asked me
all
to be
the
your
time, it's
girlfriend
so
so you
boring.
can get through to the finals because you're a game player. Yes,
I'm a
you
game
are.
player.
And
If I was a game player, I would have. If I was a game player, I would have stayed.
Now, I totally understand Anna blasting Jordan. She was hurt, you know, as far as she was concerned, that was her boyfriend, and Jordan handled the situation really badly. Not only did he not own what he was doing, he kept lying, saying he didn't like her like that, he wasn't saying that. You know, clearly when you tell a girl how much you look forward to bumping into her into the villa, and how much you look forward to their conversations, you know, you're making it known that you like the person. You also told Curtis that you liked her. So he proceeded to lie, which didn't help the situation whatsoever. India said that she looked at him as a mate, and that's when Anna and the girls came over. I mean, the girls really did have her back, which was really good. And Obi was India's saviour and literally reached for her and pulled her out of the mix-up as she was sitting there while Anna was blasting Jordan. It was good TV, but I did feel for Anna, I cannot lie. You know, it's always good to watch the drama unfold, but you know, who wants to be in that kind of mix-up? No, sorry. But yeah, poor girl. But that was the end of that relationship. You know, Anna was understandably upset. She stayed outside in the daybed. And because Maura was also pissed off with Curtis, particularly because she heard about the crap advice that he had given at that point, because she didn't know. She had an argument with Curtis. So she also stayed outside with Anna and kept her company. So when they do wake up the next morning, they wake up to the baby challenge, and of course Anna is clearly still upset with Jordan, having, you know, had that whole thing happen, knowing that you've been with your boyfriend for 2 days, and then you know it's been 2 days and he's moving to another girl basically in your face. So she was clearly upset, and Jordan still hadn't apologised at that point. So he was a single parent, as Anna wanted no part of that couple's challenge. Right. She was also upset with Curtis and told him he wasn't genuine. She was hurt as she had known Curtis longer than Jordan, so, you know, it felt like where was his loyalty for her? And she didn't think that he was a good person, so she let him know all of this. You know, he did apologise, Curtis did apologise, but really and truly, it took Maura to kind of pull him up on that for him to realise the error of his ways. Because at one point he was saying to Jordan, you know, oh, sorry, I kind of done this, and I, you know, because I told Maura and I thought I could trust Maura, and I've been a bad friend. So he didn't think that he was being a bad friend to Anna. So I suppose that's where her issue with him came. But as I said, he did apologise to Anna, but she was clearly too upset to receive it, and I don't think she thought it was necessarily genuine. Because, like I said, the advice that he gave just really wasn't right in the way that he gave it. I mean, you had even someone like Greg who asked him, you know, what was his thought process for doing that. And Tommy also said something about, you know, why didn't you come and tell me? Because he would have given him very different advice. So either Curtis wanted to cause a mix-up or was encouraged to. Who knows? So by midweek, Anna was understandably still upset at Jordan's behaviour, you know, and I actually was quite surprised that he kept denying it. You know, he kept saying he didn't do anything. I mean, come on, bro. You told another girl that you liked them. You told your mate in the house that you liked this girl, and the same girl friend-zoned you. So I suppose that's why you wanted to act like it was no big thing, because you realised that she told you that, you know, she saw you as a mate, and how much you made her feel welcome, you know. if you did have these feelings for India, you know, why didn't you speak up before? Why didn't you show Anna enough respect, just pull her aside and just say, you know what, I don't think this is actually going to work out and we shouldn't be boyfriend and girlfriend, and I moved too hastily. You know, I just thought at that point he was playing a game, because I found it interesting and suspicious that, you know, one moment you're declaring how much you check for this girl and you want her to be a girl and all this kind of stuff, and then next thing you're doing like a massive sudden U-turn, and that's right after you end up in the bottom on the voting polls. So I thought that was interesting. I thought it was interesting that Jordan kept chatting rubbish rather than owning his shit. And no wonder he used to say that Michael is like his brother, because they both don't seem to own their shit. But anyway, now given that he tried to move to Ovi's girl, who, you know, he was coupled up with, so you moved to India, he's coupled up with Ovi, you'd think that Jordan would be a man and would speak to Ovi about that, because clearly there was a big blow up. But no, it was Ovi who ended up tapping him to speak, to have a chat. And he, you know, and Jordan tried to style it out as if it seemed, you know, as if it was just a case of, you know, him and India are cool, and he was just trying to find out, you know, some advice and, you know, things that may be missing in his relationship with Anna. It's like, bruv, stop lying. You were trying to shoot your shot, but it didn't work. But of course, Ovi, being a good character that he is, took the high road. Yes, Ovi. So later, Jordan tries to speak to Anna, and it quickly goes left. And then the next thing you know, later Jordan speaks to Anna, and it quickly goes left. And the next thing you know, it is the voting results, and both Jordan and Anna and Harley and Chris were dumped from the island on that day. Anna seemed really fine with going, you know, as her and Jordan had just basically mashed up. But of course, you know, she'll miss her girls, Amber, Molly and Maura. And then of course Jordan said he was ready to leave, and even as they were exiting, you know, him and Anna were still arguing. Chris and Harley were a cute couple. I really liked Chris. I thought he was hilarious. You know, they had a cute bread making date and had their own minor drama due to the challenge at the sidebar. So the headline suggested someone should be coupled up with another person. Now Chris had to guess who it was, and he guessed that it was himself. And it said you know, fill in the blank, like should be coupled up with blank. So he chose himself and India, who he originally liked. But it actually wasn't that person. It wasn't India. It was supposed to be, it was Maura that was actually the answer. But Harley took this personal and felt that, you know, he basically mugged her off, particularly because, you know, he had actually liked India before and he was now coupled with Harley, so he should have just, you know, blagged it, I guess is what she felt. So later on, you know, they had a chat, they turned into a bit of an argument, and then she stormed off. Now, I like Chris, like I said, I think he's hilarious, and he was the one who actually brought the salmon to the villa, which is a funny, you know, jump in the pool thing. And he did apologise to Harley for what he had done. It's like he realised the error of his ways once she kind of let him know how she felt. And, you know, he apologised again with breakfast and even spelled out sorry in the breakfast, which is really sweet. They were back on good terms in no time before they ended up being dumped from the island, sadly. Now, Harley and Chris seem like they're going to give it a go on the outside, and news is that they are actually dating, so yay for them and wishing them well. Now let's take a look at Ovi and India. So Ovi and India had a good week. They were getting on really well. Ovi had us cracking up as he does. He was, you know, he took over the kitchen and cooked breakfast for the islanders, talking about, yes, you know, using seasoning. We like seasoning our food, that is right. And singing about how do you want it, while India helped him out in the kitchen. The islanders loved the seasoned breakfast, and the two minor blips that they actually had in their relationship road were due to other people and other opinions, I should say. So the first one was, of course, the whole Jordan and Anna breakup, as India was caught up in that, you know, being the fact that she could have been the part of the love triangle if she was interested, but, you know, clearly she didn't seem like she was. And I must say that I was surprised she didn't go and speak to the girls about her talk with Jordan. Now, I felt like she kind of played it down, or they didn't show it if she did go and speak to them, but it may also be because that she just wanted to stay away from the whole mix-up and the drama. The next bump in the road that they had was during the hit the hit the headlines challenge, where it was suggested that India was only interested in being with Obi for the 50k prize money. This seemed to be a trigger for him. You know, being a basketball player, he confided in Amber, you know, his sis in the villa, that, you know, it was a trigger point for him, as he's obviously wary of people and how genuine they really are. Because obviously, if you're a basketball player, you're in sports, you're earning a decent amount of money, and of course, if you're earning money, you know, that can attract all kinds of people. So you can see that for a moment there, it kind of troubled his thoughts a little bit. But then Amber reassured him that she didn't think that India was like that. And at that point, she also actually flagged and pointed out to him that she thought that Jordan was a bit rude, and noticed that how much attention he had been paying to India, and whether Obi had noticed this. And Obi and she made it clear that she didn't feel like it was, you know, India giving him the attention. She felt like it was, you know, all on Jordan's part, but she was quite right. Obi brushed it off as if, said that, you know, they were mates, and but he did bring it out to India later, you know, and said how he thought it was strange how Jordan had been moving a little bit funny around Anna. India says that, you know, as far as she's concerned, they're mates, but she wondered if she's been a bit oblivious, and yes, she was. He didn't speak to his girlfriend, but it was all up in her face, well, according to editing. Besides that, Obi and India do seem to be into each other. It's early days, but they're really quite a cute couple. Then we have Amber and Greg. So Greg was Amber's little saviour that came in and swept her off her feet and put a smile back on her face. So it's really been nice seeing Amber, you know, smiling and, you know, free from all the drama that she had been involved in before, you know, due to the heartbreak with Michael and all that kind of stuff. They seem to have a really nice, you know, connection and get along really well. And the couple's final week in the villa was pretty chill, beside the whole Anna and Jordan saga. And like I said before, I like that Greg did ask Curtis, you know, made him a bit more accountable and asked him, you know, what was his thought process for, you know, giving this advice to Jordan. And of course, Amber was there to defend her bestie in the situation, and she wasn't impressed, you know, with Jordan at all. And none of the girls were, to be fair. They had a good week of getting to know each other better. They had a lot of gossiping around the whole headline challenge and the drama it caused there. And they did well and came out without any issues on that, to be fair. And with Anna leaving, Amber was a bit sad, of course, because that was her best friend. But Greg was there to help, you know, reassure her and keep her going. And they all knew that it would just be a matter of days before they saw each other again. As for Anton and Belle, since, you know, they made up after their massive argument they had at the Island Club, Belle and Anton have been getting on really well. See, I really like Belle for Anton. You know, she's clearly no nonsense, you know, girl after my own heart. I like that. And she wasn't happy when it came out during the Hit the Headline challenge that apparently one of Anton's friends felt that, you know, she wasn't genuine. Now, I don't understand how you could think that, because I think most people can see that she seems quite straightforward. So understandably, she wasn't happy to hear that. And they spoke about that, which was nice. Didn't get into an argument, they spoke about that. But you could tell that it did affect Anton a little bit. And he spoke to the boys about it. And I think it was Chris who kind of reassured him, you know, that as long as you like her and you feel happy and don't let any of that outside stuff kind of, you know, sway you. So they had been kind of on a good footing. And Anton really has been trying to, you know, letting Belle know that he does like her and dropping his barriers a bit more and opening up, which is nice to see. As for Tommy and Molly-Mae, as we know, they have been smooth sailing for weeks now. They seem like they're just, you know, out of all the couples, you know, they enjoyed the baby challenge and all the different challenges. The only one that she didn't like, or Molly-Mae kind of was not happy about, was the headline challenge, where it did suggest that that she wasn't really, you know, she's fake, basically, is what the headline suggested. The headline suggested that Molly-Mae was fake, and I think she took that a bit offensively, understandably. And Tommy was there to reassure her. I do really feel like Tommy is besotted with Molly-Mae, and I do feel like she does like him a lot, but I just feel like he is a bit more besotted with her than she is with him. But that could just be because she's maybe pressing her feelings back a bit. But I do think they're a really cute couple. So Maura and Curtis, you know, they had their time in the hideaway last week. Maura wasn't impressed with Curtis, you know, when he walked out in Chris's flowery kimono. and a feather boa, particularly after the challenge suggested that he wasn't manly. So of course, Maura removed the boa. I think she was alright with the kimono. But at that point, when they were in the hideaway, you know, Maura had no idea that Curtis had given his crap advice to Jordan. She didn't find out about that until when they returned to the villa. When Maura heard about the advice, you know, obviously she wasn't impressed and she let him know. They ended up having a massive argument about it, and she asked him, you know, what would you do? You know, Curtis said, you know, what would you do if it was you in that situation? He said that he didn't know. So she said, well, why are you going to give out shit advice if you don't even know what you're going to do yourself? So I was really glad that Maura kind of put him in his place in that and pulled him up on that. I mean, she was peed off with him about that, and eventually they did make up. I wasn't surprised that Maura tried to have sex with Curtis in the villa, and I wasn't surprised that Curtis turned her down either. You know, she was clearly very vexed next morning when he offered her coffee. She wasn't really up for no coffee. I think she wanted to have... Anyway, she really wanted to sleep with him, and he didn't want to sleep with her. I think he wanted to wait till they were outside, and obviously probably promised his parents didn't want to have sex on TV or whatever the case is. Who knows? But I think there's more to that story. So by the end of the week, and it was down to the final 5, so Amber and Greg, Ovi and India, Tommy and Molly-Mae, Anton and Belle, Maura and Curtis. And over the next couple of days, so over the course of the Thursday and the Friday, each couple went on a different romantic date, okay? The show ended with each couple having to vote off a couple. It was a very hard vote to make for every single one of them. So Belle and Anton voted for India and Ovi. Maura and Curtis also voted for India and Ovi. India and Ovi voted for Maura and Curtis. Molly-Mae and Tommy voted for Belle and Anton. And Amber and Greg voted for Maura and Curtis. So it was Amber and Greg, and Molly-Mae and Tommy were the two who didn't get any votes, so they were safe. So by the time Sunday's episode rolled around, it was all about meeting the family. So everyone's parents came to the villa. Is their parents or their loved ones, I should say. But later on, what happened was Anton and Belle got dumped from the island. Anton and Belle got dumped. I was a bit surprised. Would have thought it would have been Curtis and Maura. I think they saved Maura because she's good TV. Anton was gutted to leave, but at least, you know, they left together, and they're a really cute couple. So Anton cried, as he does, you know, he's an emotional guy. So he, you know, went around and gave everyone a hug, and I'm actually sure in his mind he was thinking that it'd be Ovi and India that would have gone, because, you know, Anton's been there from the start. But he doesn't realise that out here everybody loves Ovi. So that was an interesting end to that Sunday. So then we came to the finale on Monday, and so Monday's final, you find the couples learn how to do some sort of dancing, and we find that Tommy cannot dance. He is stiff as a brick, I tell you, my goodness. And Curtis was in his element, of course, wiggling his waist, of course. And you've got Greg doing some kind of Irish twerk with his foot on the wall. I don't know what happened there. The girls went off shopping. You know, both the girls and the boys were tasked with writing their feelings, kind of like a love letter, which they had to read out in front of each other about, you know, how they feel about the person they coupled up with. Curtis and Maura went first. You know, Ovi and India went next, and that was quite sweet. He even, you know, he's very much paying attention to detail. He even mentioned, you know, her nails and all this kind of stuff. It was very genuine. India praised him as her knight in shining armour. Amber and Greg were up next, and it was Greg's poem was really funny and sweet, and Amber's letter was really sweet as well, and talking about how he helped bring out her softer side, you know, melting the ice cream. So I was really happy for that. They had a really nice fun banter with it. Tommy and Molly were really sweet and mushy as well. It was almost like it could have been their wedding, the way that they were talking. It was really quite sweet. Then, of course, let's roll on, and we get to the results. Caroline's there. Caroline comes in to say who wins, and we find out who's in 4th, 3rd, and 2nd place. Now, I'm sure that Maura and Curtis in their mind, in fact, most people were probably quite surprised that actually it wasn't Ovi and India who were in 4th place, but no, it was Maura and Curtis that were in 4th place. Ovi and India were in 3rd place, and then of course Tommy and Molly-Mae were in 2nd place. So yes, Amber and Greg win the show. Woohoo! I was happy for them. They are really happy. They're smiling, sweet couple. I don't know how that would work location-wise, because you know she's in Newcastle and he's in Ireland, and what she was saying that he travels a lot as well. But wishing them well, and I'm just glad to see her smiling and glad to see that she actually won the show, which was great. And the truth being, the truth is that people voted for her because everyone liked her because of what she went through. When you think about it, when she first went in, not everyone was keen on Amber because she came across a bit kind of hard, but that hard shell did definitely melt and we got to see the real Amber inside. So to me, it was just a case of, you put up a bit of a shell because you don't know these people, you don't want anyone to hurt you. So that's what that came down to me. Tommy and Molly-Mae been together 54 days. They're really sweet. They really love each other, and we're talking about, moving in with each other and things like that. So I do wish them well, and I hope that all the couples will do well. I'll be paying some attention to see where that goes. So that's over. Let's get on with some more gossip, because I'm in everyone's business. So we have been looking to see what else has been going on with the Love Islanders now. So let's start with this point one. The final outro for Love Island didn't show Sharif. Now he was the original black guys that went in there, into the villa, but the producers didn't even include him in edits. Like, what is that about? So of course on social media people weren't happy about that, rightfully so. Like, where was he? He did exist. He was part of the show. He was part of the original lineup, so he should have been at least included in the edits. So it'll be interesting to see whether they even bring him back for the reunion or not. I'm guessing they won't, but let's wait and see what happens for that on Sunday. So Michael and Joanna. So after the awkwardness of Michael and Joanna on After Sun, and she kind of implied that she wouldn't go back there. Well, Joanna and Michael were spotted out, and it looks like, they were getting it in, kissing. Yeah, they were spotted. They were also spotted out with Danny and Jordan, who are still dating. So to me, it looks like Joanna and Michael are looking to seem like they're rekindling, but obviously that's your business if that's what you want. But rather than just admit it, that she's still entertaining him, instead she's saying that he's whispering something in her ear. Look at this.
The paper out, and it's me and Michael so-called kissing. I just want to make a point. We weren't kissing. He was saying something in my ear. I found it funny. I can't remember what it was.
Okay, love. Okay, if you say so. Now, in other Love Island news, you've got Amy, who left the Love Island villa after feeling really heartbroken from Curtis. Now she's done really well and landed on her feet, and she's bagged herself a job as a presenter on Loose Women, so well done to her. In other Mind Your Business news, it's been reported that Anton has unfollowed Molly-Mae on Instagram after hearing what she said about him when they had to, vote for various couples. Now, to be honest, I don't really think that Anton was ever her biggest fan for some reason. I'm not sure why, because it did seem like, when Lucy was trying to make a play for Tommy, he was trying to orchestrate that. It always felt like he didn't really trust her. There's a couple of times that he alluded to the fact that, he didn't really feel like she was that genuine or something. So I feel like there's more to that. For those who are already missing the show, don't forget the reunion on Sunday, and that there will be 2 more Love Islands next year, so you'll get double the fix, eh? Anyway, I will be back with a recap of the reunion soon. Yes, so thanks for watching that. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share, and hit that notification bell so you know when I am uploading some more of people's business. So until then, my nosy people, stay blessed.